Yeah, so I've been posting on Twitter today, and I'll put a link here inside the description. But I guess Director Ray of the FBI is a little bit surprised at the exploits, I guess, that the Chinese have as far as gaining access to our intellectual property and inventions here in the United States. To me, that seems like a little bit of a distraction because really the problem, folks, is, and I've been reporting on this for, well, at least a year or two, kind of assembling a lot of information together, including my personal experiences, exploits that I discovered on my own phone, but needed help with probably from an FBI cybercrime division, which to date never helped out with, but that's okay. I don't think that it would really do much good anyways. The point would be, though, is that now Director Ray is saying suddenly, much like with the Antifa thing, like, they're not really a thing, they're more of an idea, and then like a year later has to finally concede that, oh, I guess they're more than an idea. Guys, if this person's the director of our Federal Bureau of, law enforcement here, all right? I mean, think about this, and they're clueless to what that organization is, and they're just now kind of saying like, wow, I'm just blown away at all these exploits in our technology. Are you really? Seriously? All I can say is you're either incompetent or you're playing dumb, and I don't believe that you're incredibly incompetent. And if it is because you're incompetent, it's because you're a puppet who really doesn't serve any function aside from just serving the interest of somebody who has their hand up the Director Ray puppet and goes like, wonk, wonk, wonk. I don't see Antifa. I don't see the Chinese exploits into our technology. Guys, look, I'm not even being critical of China for doing this. The USA does it all over the place. They put their exploits into routers, they put their exploits into televisions, they put their exploits into your phones. Yeah, that's the CIA. Of course the CCP. Of course they've got some winged division that's going to have technology exploits. Think, McFly, think, right? I mean, this isn't rocket science here. The FBI should just know this. All right, so this phone that I'm talking to you on, it has so many individual pieces of firmware that make up the entire phone. What fits into this little machine that's recording this image of me right now used to require like a few rooms worth of equipment and could not replicate it. Think about that. Everything's been brought down into these micro components, and in every single piece of your phone, every one of these boards and microchips, oscillators, everything, especially your radio air interface, all of your radio links, all of your radios, quad band radios, multiple band radios, wide band radios, they're all air interface concepts that link your phone to a tower. The problem that we have nearly everywhere, okay, in the world is rogue intercepts, which is to say that law enforcement alone probably shouldn't be intercepting things the way they are, but knowing that the equipment that they get can be bought on the private market, which I've proven over and over again, okay? This shouldn't even surprise anybody. What it seems to me that we really have going on in the United States is that they're conscious, they're aware, they're letting it happen. Yes, you FBI, you are letting this happen. You have been letting this happen. You're not surprised at all by any exploits China has. You are being bought. You are in partnership. I am convinced of this because I came to the FBI in good faith, having an aunt that used to be in the Department of Justice Cybercrime Division in Seattle as an attorney, retired now. So, guys, I guess if you have family, even though honestly they were just as unresponsive, more so, eventually you start to look around and go like, I don't think these people are clueless. No, there's something bigger going on. There is a bridge that's been built between the United States and some of these other countries like, China relative to the CCP. Technology bridges that allow these exploits so that a certain class of people here in the United States can gain access to the resources from the CCP, and it's a reciprocal agreement. Those, I would argue, that are in the dark forces that are here inside the United States, they're allowing these exploits to occur by gaining access to the firmware. If you think about it, look, there's so much Chinese hardware in phones and firmware in phones and things like that. Firmware is a part of the hardware, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is that there's so many different ways to exploit each individual module relative to air interface and make a phone's Bluetooth radio, Wi-Fi radio, one of the bands inside the radio, partition off to another set of radios. So many ways to do it. And it's being done. And pretty much it's wild, wild west out there. It just is. And I've offered assistance. I've got 20 years experience as a radio frequency engineer. I obviously have these connections to people that were in these organizations. I can pass a background check. To date, the FBI's response, even when I had a meeting with them, I went down to the Portland FBI Bureau, I don't know, like it's been 3 or 4 years now, warning them about the whole use of the acting communities and how they structure these events. Again, I did it I didn't think I did it in any sort of way that was crazy or conspiratorial. I actually have tangible real life data, people who own the companies, connections to family members, just things that I thought required a little bit more investigation, because if the things that I see connect the way that I think that they do, potentially, certainly it's occurred to other people. And then when you see things happening around us the way they are currently, where things are just being made up that we're all supposed to buy into, yet many of us who study these things at a deep level and have experienced it know for a fact the FBI is not investigating it. They're not doing anything about it. And then once you unravel those layers, okay, then you start to go like, are you sure it's not just you guys contracting with these studios, with the media? That you just have a way where the actors set it up, fake it all, mirror something that's real, and you knock down the fake and recruit the actual criminals. And it's not that crime doesn't happen anymore. It's that you're managing it, aren't you? Because that's kind of what I figured. It seems to me what the FBI is doing in America today is managing it. But they're not fighting it. When they find the real thing, they swap it for something fake. It's a scripted reality. You're made to believe it. We're all given it as something to believe. They kick the can down the road for about a year or so, try to make the new script, come up with something that covers it all up. And now we have Director Ray going, wow, I guess China has some exploits. Just think about it, folks.